Sorry, Brett was telling me this joke before I came over here. I can't get it out of my head. How did it go? Okay. Why was school... Why was school easier for cavemen? Why? Because I can't hear you. Because they didn't have to study history. It's so dumb. But hey, we don't have stand-up comedy bars or anything to go to right now. So that's the funniest thing I've heard in a long time. Brett was also so deadpan when saying it too. But at the same time, we're talking about learning stuff and how easy it was for me. And he just has this smirk, like he was so proud of the joke or making me laugh. I don't know. I sure hope he isn't proud of the stupid joke itself, because that was so dumb. I don't know. I guess he had to be there. Anyways, this is Gabe Blythe, one of currently 3 survivors here in the Salt Lake area. You aren't alone, and you can be safe. Come join us. If you aren't so sure, I've talked about Eileen, right? She's so cool. She's just got muscles like a tank. I've seen her move debris out of the way so easily, it would take a team of men to move the same stuff. She's also, stupid, deadly accurate with her bow and arrow. She was showing off, and from 50 meters, she could hit a coin dead center every time. That's so cool! She said that she's always been good with bows and arrows, had a good knack for precision, I guess. But the Royal Navy gave her the tools, I don't know, to be more precise and consistent. Which is pretty amazing when you think about it. We were talking for a while, and we saw a group of the others shamble around. After hearing about some of them following me, and of course, army guy attacking me, Eileen wanted to take a closer look and see if she could spot anything different or new. She doesn't call them others, though. She and Brett call them docs, or dead on contact. I guess in the military, you turn everything into a phrase, not just the acronym itself. It feels a little inconsiderate. I was going to challenge them on it, but I don't know if it's worth the fight. Anyways, so we're watching them for a while, a couple of hours even. And Eileen handed me the bow and offered to teach me a few things. I declined, naturally. I'm not one for violence, or weapons, if I can avoid it. She looked at me, kind of as if annoyed. Or, I don't know, maybe it was disbelief. She clicked her tongue and said, "Well, whatever, just so long as you always have an escape plan." And she stopped, took aim, and let loose. It was all just one fluid motion. And then one of the others just went down. Didn't even twitch. Black ichor pooling around the wound. The others just left him behind. Didn't even look back. "If you don't have an escape plan, you best have a damn good defense," she said to me while packing up, and just walked away. I had to fight the tears back for a little while. Who did she kill? Could we have saved them? In the long run? I'm not a big fan of violence, but I understand it's necessary at times. But I've said it before. We don't know what's going on with the others. Anyways, we talked a little bit later the next day. She has some fun stories to convince you that she isn't just this intense combat-focused person. She told me one. So, on any ship, apparently, you never, ever sit in the captain's chair. Rule number 1, or whatever. Well, this new guy is on the ship, and he was, as Eileen put it, super green, and didn't know left from right, which I think is a nautical joke. She sits him down, right, and asks how he's doing. Kid's pretty nervous, but he says he's getting used to things on the ship. She then asks, "Have you gotten your 15 minutes in the chair?" The kid, confused, looks back and asks her what she's talking about. She explains, well, everyone gets to sit 15 minutes in the captain's chair, as long as the captain obviously isn't there themselves. And this kid, he thinks it's a big lie. But some of the other people on the crew, however, backed up Eileen. Totally a thing, they would tell him, and other people would say, but you gotta get your 15 minutes early, or else you may never get it, because what if you get into a situation the captain is always there? So eventually, this super green kid bought it. Next time he was assigned to the wheelhouse, or whatever it's called, he sits down in the chair. And Eileen is just giving him a big old thumbs up and just kind of encouraging him from the sidelines. And the kid is just having a blast. Pretends to be captain, calling out commands that obviously no one would have followed, just kind of kicking his feet because apparently he was too short to even reach the ground in the captain's chair. Well, apparently, after a few minutes of this, the captain walks in and looks down, surprised that there's someone in his chair. And abruptly, without notifying this kid, the captain says, "Excuse me, Ensign, I think that's my seat." And this kid, oh man, he looks down at his watch, and he looks back up to the captain, and he goes, "But Captain, I still have 7 more minutes." To which then, the entire crew burst out laughing, and even the captain thought it was super funny. You can tell that she loves that story, even though she has a face that's super hard to read. There's that moment of nostalgia that comes across her face. Something brief, but something to put you at ease at the same time. They've talked about continuing south. Since Salt Lake was empty, with the exception of me, neither of them have invited or asked me if I would be interested in going with them. I don't know if I would, to be honest. Maybe there are people in other places, and traveling is the smart thing to do. But at the same time, a beacon for people to find seems like that could be just as helpful right now. But since Eileen is so good at reading people that she probably already knows the answer to the question. Probably better than I do. Back when the world was spinning, there was a term called FOMO. Fear of missing out. And it's kind of surprising how the idea of me being this beacon, I don't feel like I'm going to miss out on anything. Sure, there are people who can't hear me. But for you, dear survivor, you can hear me. You know you aren't alone. And that's enough for me. Which is kind of a nice feeling. A sense of ease. A purpose, if you will. Besides, there's enough things to be afraid of right now. Thinking of missing out is one of the last things on my mind. Also, I don't want to do that much walking again. Can you imagine walking all the way from Idaho to Utah? I had a hard time getting to the prison. But maybe if they ask, I'll surprise everyone and we take this show on the road. In the meantime, you aren't alone. And you don't have to be. I'll still be listening for a reply. And I will be at the college, off State Street, midday to sundown. Good luck out there.